You may never have thought about this before, but time in games, it's kind of funky. I mean, you've got the CPU over here moving things. Ooh. I mean, you've got the CPU over here moving things in set time slots, and yet here I am, led to believe I'm losing at Splatoon in real time. What's up with that? But it's not always as simple as time move forward. Sometimes it gets a little bit messy. Getting onto this ladder, everything else is fine. Why did my man just stop? I can stay here for as long as I like, and he's just trapped there in time void. What's happened? Does he have a family? Do they miss him? Did he just go to the Chrono store for cosmic milk? And I know once you kill Link, your entire life has no purpose, but I fix existential dread with snacks and 2D women. I don't think freezing is a very good coping mechanism. In GoldenEye 64, speedrunners look at the floor to experience relativistic temporal effects. And players of Fallout 76 can use the same technique to play a game of Hedrick the Sodgehog. But how does all this actually happen? Time moves at the same speed. Or does it? Now, the naive approach to time would involve moving yourself a set amount every single frame. This works fine if your frame rate is locked, but in GoldenEye, looking down means the N64 has less geometry to render. This means that it renders faster, updates faster, and fasts faster. Now, the modern solution to this is to keep track of how long it's been since the last update frame, and multiply everything by that. This means that even if you try and render faster than the human eye can fucking comprehend, you're still bound by the laws of physics. Fallout 76 forgot to do this for movement, and I forgot to do it for scripting in my last engine to, glorious effect. So I could fix all this and call it a day, but then I would have had no reason to spend a year making my own game engine. I could have just used someone else's, and the sunk cost fallacy won't allow it. So to soothe the voices inside my head, I give you Time Gears. So what are these time gears? Well, assuming you have one master gear at the top, you can attach others to it and to each other. So if you were to make one gear turn half as fast, that change would propagate downwards to the root of the tree. This will let me control time for different parts of my game pretty easily. Stop the player from moving but keep the environmental effects? Yeah, I can do that. Inflict existential dread? Yeah, why not? Create a bullet time mode where enemies and attacks move slower but the player and camera is unaffected? Easy peasy. In fact, let's do just that. And due to how far the engine's come along, in just a few hours work, couple hundred lines of code, I can get this full system implemented and running smoothly. Welcome to the Let's Play. Our character is the lovingly drawn purple circle. As you can see, the bullets are moving at, bullet speed, but if we go into this area that's controlled by a different time gear, they're now moving slower. And that's because their flow of time has changed, so they're exiting the zone at the same speed that a bullet that had reached there would have reached, because the acceleration is affected as well. And then over here, if I press a button to spawn in, oh yeah, so like spawning in the map and stuff works. I made a video on it, but then the whole thing corrupted after like weeks of work, so you're never going to see it, but spawning now works. And here we are, we also get a shield, which acts the same, and as you can see, the shield has the same time ratio as the little square zone. But if we go into the little config files, because the chronozone, the square, is based off the enemy key, if I increase this speed to 3, you can probably see the bullets are moving much faster. And likewise, if you go into the square, they're definitely moving slower, but not nearly as slow as they were moving before. But now, if we also get that little zone thing, you'll see that it's still the same speed that it was, which is to say, slow. If I park myself down here, you can definitely see the speed between the circle and the square zone is very different. And that's because the gears weren't connected. The change in the enemy speed does not affect a change in the player shield speed. So the question becomes, how am I going to use this in game? I don't know. Honestly, I just put it together because I thought it seemed cool. It's not just that it seemed cool, it was also a very good test of how to put stuff into the engine and load stuff in. But in terms of time travel bullets, yeah, that was just cool. I mean, it would be nice to have a accessibility menu where players can change how fast enemies go, how fast bullets go. stuff like puzzle timers, effect cooldowns, and it would mean I could shut down parts of the game during cutscenes so you don't get attacked in them by random encounters. But yes, game progress. Time travel, spawning and level editors, I haven't really spoken much about that because it's dull as fuck. There's no way to make type erasure and like templating and memory crap interesting. I have tried. But for now, do all that YouTube shit. See you in like 2 months, and